Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and we spent the last 4.5 hours getting to raid level 100, putting together a variety of compositions, 2-man, 4-man, free-to-play, lightning, light, dark, and water to clear. So we're going to go ahead and go through the clear formations that have worked well for me, and hopefully you can find something that'll be able to help you. So let's go ahead and dig in. This is one of those videos where like I'm not going to be able to record it without either hearing Giant in the background or my cat running around like sneezing and meowing. So y'all just know we're a family-friendly video recording, and you might hear some noises in the background. But my first composition is a light duo composition, and light is pretty much the easiest comp you can put together. Light slash, very easy, very powerful. You have Locke that's free, you have Lucio that's free. You can pretty much put any kind of light slash composition together, whether it's Thancred, whether it's Cecil, whether it's going to be potentially Summer Kilfay. Any of those light units are going to work. The light duo composition that I found was actually Violet and Lucio. I found that Lucio tended to deal more damage than Locke, and it could be that I just don't have Locke's limit break maxed out, so the slash resistance down wasn't hitting cap. Maybe my Violet's not perfectly made. But I found that Violet and Locke were almost just like not complementing each other perfectly, and I really felt like adding Lucio into the mix, especially with his limit break to lower light resistance, which I don't have his limit break leveled, really kind of helped accelerate the process of being able to clear. So I found that Lucio was very valuable, and I think he's very valuable. I think you could probably clear with a Locke Lucio formation if you really had to, if maybe you don't have any bonus units at all. But I really found that he was pretty pivotal. One of the other things with light formation, and sometimes with some of the other units that I found, is that the units tended to die a lot if I didn't have either dark resistance on units or if I didn't have area resistance on them. So for all of the units, I tried to set area resistance armor like you see on Lucio here, or I tried to set the dark resistance on the rings. Someone in chat, Ray, is asking about auto ability settings. Anything close range I turn off. So you're gonna see a variety of units throughout this video. I've basically turned off anything that's over 3 range is the biggest thing to know, because if you turn off anything that's over 3 range, you're going to be able to get your AP buff off on your units, whether that's Belle's, whether that's Lucio's TMR, and you're pretty much going to be set. There's a few exceptions, which we'll talk about, and I'll talk about specifically how to utilize units to kill the ads, but I basically just turned off everything that's 3 spaces far away. Light slash, I'm not going to go too far into the details here. I really found Scions was really valuable for that dark resist. But let's talk about some of the other compositions, specifically lightning. I think a lot of people have access to Cloud, and a lot of people have access to Esther. And I think this is a composition you're going to be able to get to work quite easily. I actually didn't have to optimize it very much. What you're actually looking at, this is actually an acquired AP up formation here. So I actually I had them not use Belle's, I had them not use Lucio's TMR, and I completely focused on acquired AP up from both Coral VC, because you get acquired AP up 30, and then of course from the sub VC from Astrologer you get another 30 acquired AP up, and then from their TMR augmentations we do have acquired AP up 20% as well. So I tried this initially without acquired AP up. I didn't want to fine tune the units to a crazy amount, but once I kind of put the acquired AP in, they kind of pretty much just automatically cleared. Another thing to note is I did have 2 Buster Swords here. I think people may not have 2 Buster Swords. They'll probably be using Esther's weapon here, but that definitely helps with my Esther's damage. And I think you could make this work easily if you wanted to fit in Belle's or Lucio's TMR. You would just need to turn off some of those ranged attacks that Cloud and Esther have, so that Esther can get off the slash resistance down, and they can actually get Belle's and get AP generation going here. For the ice formation, I wanted to show off a formation with Queen, and you could probably fit Queen into another like a light formation, or honestly any elemental formation. I just chose to do an ice formation because I felt like Ice was going to be an element that could probably carry her pretty easily. And it worked out really well. You're going to notice a couple unique things here. And this is going to be the way that my Gilgamesh is set up. So you could put Gilgamesh in slot 3. Honestly, if you put him in any slot, he will basically just Kotetsu everything and kill the ads. So the spots, I would say 2 or 3 or 4 would probably be best for him. You'll notice here too, that I'm actually running Mythgraven Blade on him. And the reason I'm running Mythgraven Blade is in this raid, especially if you have units that have like far range attacks, I'm finding that, you know, wrestling with that, trying to get them to have bells going can be pretty difficult. So I just kind of leaned in to AP reduction and acquired AP up. So with Mythgraven Blade, I have his AP cost reduction, right? Which is pretty good. And then I have my TMR rune on him that gives him acquired AP up. And that actually lets him get off 2 Kotetsus in the beginning of the match. And yes, there is some damage sacrifice from you not using Ice Brand here, but it's really made up by the fact that I'm running Oron, that I'm running Laswell. You could easily change out, you know, Oron for Velric, you know, would be very easy. Probably the most important thing with Ice here is Laswell for lowering ice resistance and Gilgamesh for lowering slash resistance. Queen literally does nothing. You'll notice I have no Esper set on her. I'm literally using her as like a boat for VCs right now. And her job is just to kind of be in the side. With the VCs here that I have set, you'll notice I have Two-Headed Dragon set. One of the other VCs I considered setting, and that I did set, I ran this with 2 different clears. We're running Starlight Trist VC, but if you don't have Starlight Trist, you can actually go to the MR VC down here. There's actually an ice damage limit MR VC that you can set, and it is right here. And actually gives ice damage limit up 1500 along with critical rate up 20 for the party, and it gives the individual unit attack up 20%. So this is actually a really good VC. Even if you know, you could set it as a sub VC pretty easily if you don't have like a ton of VCs leveled. You know, we'll also, I didn't talk about it, but Mind Flayer is also a really good option if you're running any type of a magical unit. But that really kind of puts this formation together and really kind of pulls everything together. So you can kind of run it with different setups and different compositions and be pretty much fine here. Also, it's really cool to see Laswell and Oron hit for 15,999 damage. That is a huge amount of damage. Dark with Joker, we talked a lot on stream about trying to put together a duo formation with Dark, and there just really wasn't, as far as we could tell and from people, like a reliable Dark duo formation that like people could replicate easily. Especially when I start talking about our water duo formations. Water was definitely difficult to get a duo formation to work with Astrius, and I think that's going to be kind of the same here with Joker. There's a couple reasons for it. It's mostly because Joker doesn't really bring anything in terms of lowering the stat capabilities of the opponent. He doesn't really bring a multi-hit slash attack that he can participate with. So really, if you're going to get him in, you just want to sandwich him into a standard Dark composition. You'll notice I'm not running Venera in this composition. This is one of those formations that I was really specific on some of my abilities. So you are going to want to make sure to turn Ruinstern's defense down ability off. Otherwise, he will use it. You don't need to use defense down. Because defense down is not going to work on the raid boss. And having Stern for slash resistance down is really helpful. And then having Dwayne turning his slash resistance down buff off so that he potentially lowers dark resistance. These are all things that you kind of want to make sure to tailor specifically for your Dark composition. If you set Joker in slot 3, he will kill the ads. So you can set Joker in slot 3, he'll kill the ads. He has enough agility. Stern, again, if you turn off all of those attacks that are over 3 range, they will use their AP generation buff. So Joker, being that he has access to missile-based attacks, will just move forward and use his AoE missile attack to one-shot all of the ads, which is pretty helpful in its own right? Because that kind of saves you 3 turns if you had to deal with them individually. So slot 3 with Joker, you can see mine's only 107. He's definitely not maxed out. Seems to work really well. Water duo. Water is the last element we're going to talk about, and I actually have 3 different water duo formations, all of them with Astrius. The first one's going to be Astrius with Winter Ramada. The second one's going to be Astrius with Raychest, which was inspired by a JP content creator that had this build. And then the third one is going to be Astrius and Farm. And out of all of these formations, Astrius and Farm was probably the easiest to put together. It just kind of naturally synergized. Farm, of course, her limit break is going to lower water resistance. Astrius's limit break is going to lower slash resistance. An important note here on my specific formation is I actually don't have these limit breaks leveled. I'm actually out of limit break pots right now. So the fact that I'm using these limit breaks at base level means if these are units you've at all invested into, they're actually going to be very easy to pull off in a raid composition setup. So Astrius would lower significantly more slash resistance. You'd get more water resistance down with Farm. So very easy overall. Probably the most difficult formation in water, honestly, was with Raychess. It was kind of a little bit of a struggle to find the right VC setup. And I think especially when you're dealing with Astrius and Raychess and Astrius and Winter Ramada and kind of these other units, you have to be very ability specific. So with Astrius, I'll show you guys kind of what I did here. You're going to want to make sure to have him sub-Strider and have him access to Lupine Rend. And then you're also going to want Tiger Maw on. Now, I've been telling you this whole time to turn off abilities that are over 3 range. Tiger Maw hits 4 range. But if you have all abilities turned off except for Tiger Maw, Lupine Rend, and then if you have his large damage hit attack on as well, what he will do if he's in slot 1 right here is he will use his ability to kill the ads. He will use that cross-shaped 4-range attack on his second turn after using bells to kill the ads, and that's only going to work at level 100 and if you do have the right level of agility on him. If he's too fast, you'll notice my Astrius has 96 agility. If he's too fast or if he's too slow, you may miss the opportunity. The golden point is you want to make sure that the 2 ads move after Astrius takes his first turn, and then Astrius takes his turn again and kills the ads. Similarly, if you are putting together a formation with Winter Ramada, I use a similar tactic, except I use it with Winter Ramada because Winter Ramada is a generally fast unit. You notice Astrius, again, 96 agility. Winter Ramada is at 98. The reason for this is I have Winter Ramada kill with the ads, because originally I wasn't having Astrius kill the ads. I was having Winter Ramada kill the ads, and I had Winter Ramada kill the ads with her limit break. And of course, the reason I want her to use her limit break is it is going to lower slash resistance, and that is going to be, you know, a boon in terms of being able to deal more damage. So after all of this, you guys probably want to see some formations. I will show you probably the light slash formation first, since I think most players in this game, my cat is just like sitting in the window right now. I told you guys, this video is going to be one of those videos where it's just constantly interrupted. But oh, he's coming around. He wants to get on my microphone. But you'll see, like, running a light slash comp is just really easy. You're going to see cap damage. You're going to see damage, you know, executing. My chat was memeing pretty hard earlier because ain't nobody have Winter Ramada. As you can see, Elder in chat, he's like, Winter Ramada, nobody has her. No, we literally asked chat if anybody had Winter Ramada 120, and the only person was Queen. So pretty easy. You'll notice because all of their ranged abilities over 3 range are turned off. You know, we were able to pop bells on almost all the characters. With Light Slash, I didn't even have to optimize killing the ads here, because literally Light Slash is such a monster that you are just going to come in and just start obliterating him. It doesn't matter what Light Slash units you have. You can see we just hit for 15,000, 15,000, triple trick for almost, you know, 28,000. Like, it just becomes this destruction fest of like light units wailing on a dark element unit. And you can see we cleared with 7 turns left. So, you know, even other people like Bob, who has a relatively fresh account right now, has actually been able to pull off Light Slash working pretty effectively. So Light Slash is definitely going to be the easiest way to go. And you don't even really need to worry about specifically a way to kill the ads. Let's go ahead and show off the Water Duo composition. Just because the Water Duo composition was one of the formations that really highlighted kind of how you can kill the ads in a different way. So let's actually do the farm composition here. And I believe this should work. I actually believe farm, I believe the formation gets a little messed up here because this was the last formation of the day that we made. And I think that I didn't give farm an ability, so I think they actually kill the ads independently here. But it's kind of an example of how, you know, even with a little bit of messing up, you can be fine. I can show you guys the Ray Chess or the Winter Ramada formation after for specifically targeting the ads. But it's just because Farm has such high agility here. She's going to go forward, and then the enemies are going to move. And you can see because Farm moved forward before the ads, she actually triggered the ads to move. And you can see there, Astrius just kind of AoE'd and killed down one of the other ads. So that's kind of what he would have done if the ad hadn't attacked Farm. And you lose a turn that way. So if you're really trying to optimize, like that's an additional 9,000 damage you could have dealt to the boss here. But you can see we're just doing our thing. We're continuing to hitting damage. We're hitting pretty good damage, especially Astrius is popping Lupine Rend there. Farm is chaining into 12k damage with Shadowbind. It's going pretty good. Astrius is so AP hungry. Just something to consider is that he's very, very AP hungry. And depending on how it goes, like you can land in a situation like here where it looks like we're not going to clear. We actually didn't clear with this formation. And that's a great example of how, you know, a formation can change or it can be variable. And you really want to get into those reliable formations. And again, this was the last formation that we tested for the day. And it could just be that fact that we gave Farm too much agility and it just kind of ruined everything with how it worked out there. So we'll go ahead and we'll show you the Winter Ramada formation after I re-clear this here. And we'll kind of show you how it's a little bit tighter and it tends to work a little bit better. I actually think what happened was probably, it looked like the limit break of Astrius was off. And I don't know if that's because I tuned him a little bit more before I made this video. But again, this is just one of those examples where like water is a much more finicky element. And I know a lot of people are sharing that Ray Chess and Astrius video. I don't think it's Calum. I think it was another JP content creator that put it together. But it's one of those situations where like water is not really the best element. And you should probably be using one of like light or dark or even lightning to clear. So just kind of keep that in mind as you do go through it. So we're going to change our formation and we're going to change it to Winter Ramada here, and we'll go ahead and embark. And if everything works out, knowing my luck, like I told you guys, this is going to be one of those videos, right? This is going to be one of those videos where like all of a sudden this formation's not going to work after working on stream for like multiple runs and multiple tests. No, I have full confidence in this formation. This is probably the water formation that we tested the most. Winter Ramada will use her LB here to lower slash resistance and hit all of the ads, kill them off in one hit. Astrius is going to come in and they are just going to start swinging and wailing. And again, this is one of those fights where Winter Ramada takes a lot of damage. If you guys have Winter Ramada, you know that she dies and she takes a ton of damage. And that's pretty standard, I would say, for Winter Ramada. So part of the factors of planning this raid with a dual comp with Winter Ramada was how to get Winter Ramada to survive and, you know, not just die immediately. It was actually a pretty big problem. And there were even times where Astrius actually died. And it was pretty crazy. It was like, oh, Astrius died. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen. Tiger Maw from Astrius also. You'll notice Astrius is using Tiger Maw here. That's the AoE attack that will clip the ads in some situations. It also lowers attack and magic, so it does give some survivability to the party. And that's one of the best ways to clear. I know, now you have a reason to get Winter Ramada past level 1. That's so true, dude. That is 100% true. I think let's close off by showing off the lightning formation. I think most people know how to do like a dark and a light formation and a dark and a light duo, and they can, you know, for the most part, probably replicate those. I think the lightning formation is probably the funnest because it's an acquired AP formation. It's not a formation that required bells at all, which I love. I think, you know, I knock acquired AP quite a bit, but I think we're at a point now in the game where you can get so much acquired AP, especially with sub VCs, and especially with acquired AP on the TMRs, like both of these units have. The amount of AP they can get is a little ridiculous. So you see here coming in, of course, we're doing the standard, you know, not even caring about the ads. We literally just melee down the ads one at a time. Cloud's going to AoE the last ad down. And then they're just going to start doing their thing. They're going to start their lightning chaining. You know, Cloud, of course, is a monster, so is Esther. They both have Cloud Sword, so they're just going to be doing tons of damage. And it looks like Mondo in chat got Dwayne and Joker to work consistently, which is actually a formation I would really be interested in, because I feel like Joker is one of those difficult units to pull off. Important note here, also, we got an Esper off, which is really important, because Espers, of course, lower elemental resistance of the opponent. And you can see we cleared with a beautiful 3 turns left. So that's kind of, you know, that's kind of the way. You know what? We're going to show you Dark Element too. We're going to close off this video with the Dark Element because I feel like people have Joker. They probably want to see what I did with Dark Slash. And honestly, Dark Slash, you know, Dark Slash is Dark Slash. If you've made it this far in the video, you're probably like, oh, Dark Slash, yeah. Right? Like, that's kind of the approach everybody's taken with Dark Slash is, oh, it's Dark Slash. You told me earlier to do a Dark Duo comp and I didn't try. I mean, you have to understand, like, Joker is such a awkward unit. Like, oh my God, where's my Dark comp? Like, Joker is such an awkward unit. Like, he just doesn't fit into a dark composition for like naturally duoing things. So I didn't want to force like a square peg into a round hole. You know, I didn't want to have to like create, like, nobody wants to watch a video where like I talk about my custom made TMR runes that nobody else is going to have in order to pull off a Dark Element duo that, you know, people could easily just make a 4-man composition for. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to see that. Oh, you could totally succeed without my rune setting. I mean, with the lightning composition, you would just have to make sure bells and other things are going off, which is, again, easy if you turn off your 3 ranged attacks. So, like, you literally saw, we finished with 3 turns and we literally, like, just smacked one of the ads. Like, it's not a situation where, you know, the runes are what made the difference. They were in a way that, like I made that formation specifically because I wanted to try acquired AP up formation, but it's also one of those things where, like, I could have easily just had them use bells or use Lucio's TMR and have the same results, or I could clean it up and make it a little bit more smoother. It's more about like showing that it's possible, showing that the composition is viable, and giving people different ideas for what they might be able to do. And also to point out, we're using the Coral VC in the lightning composition, which is, I mean, it's interesting enough that we're using MR VCs in multiple comps here. It's just interesting. Sub VCs really bring something to the game. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope these compositions are able to help you. And woo, get a little hiccup coming up on me here. Quality video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I will see you guys next time.